Okay, so today we're going to start with some warming up from last week where we asked questions and use the interrogative. And then we're going to move on to the conditional form. Now, just in case you haven't read the Facebook post, we're moving into areas now where it's not more complicated than the group 1 verb transitions into te form, but there's more kind of things you have to think about when you're making sentences. And I'm also aware that we've done an awful lot of content and we need to start revising that content. So I'm going to be, whereas before, when we were doing a certain subject, I would ask you to make example sentences just with the subject we studied that week. I'm now going to start asking you to make sentences which include a lot more stuff than previously. Now, if you don't remember, it's not a problem because I realize we've done some of this stuff a long time ago. We'll go through the sentences step by step and break it down meticulously. So yeah, have no fear if something's not in your head. Okay, so to begin, so I should now really stress that when we're doing these complicated questions and complicated sentences, it's even more important now for you to join in by yourselves if you're not the one answering the question and have a go at answering. Okay, so with that, if you can all mute yourselves, please. And we'll start with, so Louise, you're going to be person A, and John, you're going to be person B answering the question. So Louise, can you, actually, John, can you pick something up, please, near to you? Oh, okay, cool. And Louise, can you ask, what is that?
Hi, John-san, それは何ですか?
日本語の本です。
Oh, very good. Nihongo no hon desu. Excellent, good. John, can you ask Marcus, what time will you go to school today?
何時 what school would you say?
学校。
学校。何時に学校に行きますか?
Perfect. Okay, but if I can ask you to also add today, I want you to stress that it's today.
So 今日は何時に学校に行きますか?
Perfect. Good. And Marcus?
Right. Is okay. Hachiji.
Yeah.
Hachiji ni ikimasu. Is that enough, or would I have to answer more in that?
No, that's absolutely perfect.
Because I missed a lot of this questioning stuff, and I'm just catching up with the revision. I'm not quite there yet.
No, this is absolutely perfect response. Yeah. Hachiji ni ikimasu.
That's today's class. You see, yeah,
yes,
I'm at school.
Exactly. You are, yeah. Didn't even have to travel anywhere.
No, just moved across.
Yeah. Kyou wa nanji ni ikimasu ka? Good. And Marcus, can you ask Bukash, what is today's date?
Bukash-san. So that would be kyou wa date nani?
So nannichi would be the best one to use.
Okay, so that's what day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But that would normally recall both the month and the date of the month as well.
Right. Buka-chan, 今日は何日ですか?
20日です。
Okay, so best to start with the month first, Bukash. Start with the month and then do the day.
8月20日です。
Okay, so, okay, Louise, what's 20 in the 20th?
20.
Yeah. Yes, remember, this is one of the exceptions to the Nichi.
Remember now.
Yeah. So, 14, the 14th. 20,
did that.
20th, and 24. Yeah, good. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
And hi, Yadi. Welcome. Okay.
8月20日です。
Perfect. 8月20日です。Excellent.
ありがとう。
Wukash, can you ask Elena, who is that woman over there? Who is that woman over there?
エレナさん、 あそこの彼女は何ですかどちらですか
Okay, tochira is good. Yeah. So rather than kanojo, because if you use kanojo as the noun, it suggests that she's a girlfriend, maybe yours, maybe somebody else's.
Well, I hope.
But, so for the how do you know you haven't seen her yet? For the non-specific reference to a woman, the fairly casual, not rude, fairly casual ways to say jose, jose. Or if you want to be a little bit more
Jose.
formal, you would
Uh-huh.
say onna no hito.
Onna no hito.
Yeah.
Again, who should I ask? Elena.
Elena, please. Yeah.
So should I start with dochira or not? No.
So you mean at the beginning of the questions?
Yeah.
No,
So,
put it at the end. So make the
Elena-san,
references first. Right, dozo.
what was the question again?
Who is that woman over there?
So, Elena-san, あそこの女の人はどちらですか
Good. Yeah. Dochira. What would be the other?
Oh, どちらいますか
No. Dochira was just to say who is enough.
どちら
Yeah. And then if you wanted to be, so dochira is very polite, but it also could mean other questions as well. So what's the other two words that we can use for who?
誰
Good.
and one more.
Sounds like something you eat all the time, Lukash.
Or
Donuts.
potatoes.
Bacon.
Bacon? No, I don't. Donata. I don't buy donuts. I'm not policeman. Come on.
Good. Okay. Donata desu ka? Or
So
dare desu ka?
it would be donata or dare. Which one
It
is better?
depends on how formal you want it to be. If you want to be safely formal, then donata is always a good
Donata.
fallback. Yeah. Hi, Elena-san, donata desu ka? Oh, I think we've just lost her. Okay. Tom.
Was
you
it
can-
yours or what was the name for the lady?
so you can
say
use
Anohito, Onna no hito is okay,
On-
but what was the one word?
jose.
Jose,
Yeah.
Joe,
So jose
with
means
J, Jose.
yes. Jose means that female. It means female. So danse
Jose.
is male and
Yeah,
jose
yeah.
is female.
Onna no hito.
Andy, is there a male equivalent for Jose?
Yeah,
A simple one word.
danse.
Danse. Thank you.
Okay, Tom, can you answer in Elena's absence?
Amanda this.
Amanda this. Hi. Good. Okay. Tom, can you ask Patrick, which is your favorite vegetable? Ham.
Patrick-san, 一番の野菜
That means
好
what's
き
your
で
number?
す。Number one.
No, so that's the right words, but you need to plug ski in after ichiban, really.
一番、そう、パトリックさんは一番好きな野菜ですか？何ですか？
Nandeska. So nandeska means what vegetable, but how do you say which vegetable? Just to make it a selection.
どれ？
Dore,
あ、ど
exactly.
どの野菜？
So yeah, this is fine as well, but
どれ？
this changes the structure of the sentence though. So if you want, let's just look at this a little bit more meticulously.
So if I would use どの, then it would be 一番好きなどの野菜ですか?
Right, hang on. So, let me express the two sentences. So the one which you started with was to announce the subject first, which is your favorite vegetable. So Patrick-san no ichiban suki na yasai wa. So that's now setting the scene. You've shone a light on that. And then you can say, which is it? Dore desu ka? Dore desu ka? That's a really nice and simple and reliable way for making these kinds of questions, is to announce the subject of the sentence first and then you can put the interrogative at the end. Really easy. The other way, which you just started on, makes it a little bit harder to construct because it's now one stream of a sentence. It's not the subject and then the question. You would say, Dono yasai ga ichiban suki desu ka? So which vegetable is your favorite in this case? Okay, so pick the one you prefer, and then you can ask in time.
Patrick-san, 一番好きな野菜、どれですか?
Sorry, I'd like to hear this with the right particle in there, though.
So 一番好きな野菜はどれですか?
Excellent.
I forgot the wa.
Yeah, good. Okay, over to you, Patrick.
一番好きな野菜はブロッコリー。
Broccoli this. Okay, good. Well done. Patrick, can you ask David? Sorry, let me get my questions up again. Which sport do you like the most? Which sport do you like the most?
What sport?
Sports.
Sports.
Unsurprisingly, for Japanese.
Lucas-san.
Sorry, to David, please, Patrick.
David-san. 一番好きなスポーツはどれですか?
Excellent. Good.
クリケットが好きです。
Oh, good. Okay. Okay, Patrick, can you ask the question in the other configuration, please? So this time, which sports do you like?
どのスポーツは一番好きですか?
Okay. And then, yeah, the answer was cricket. Good. Okay, good. Excellent. David, can you ask Amanda? Amanda, can you show us something you're wearing, either jewelry or clothing? Okay. Oh God, what would you call that what's that called in English? Sorry, you muted, Amanda.
It's a kimono.
Oh, okay, kimono. Good. Can you ask Amanda, why are you wearing that kimono? Muted, David. Zoom's muted at the moment, rather than any of your devices.
Got too many muting points. どうして着物を着ていますか?
Really good. Yeah, good. どうして So not ano, David, because that would be the kimono, which is away from both of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
その
Yes. Okay. Can you say the sentence one more time, please?
どうしてその着物を着ていますか?
Perfect. どうしてその着物を着ていますか? はい、Amandaさん、どうしてですか?
What's cool?
Cool. Suzushi です。Sorry, Suzushi. Suzushi.
Suzushi desu kara.
Yeah, good. Suzushi desu kara. Good. Okay, Amanda, can you ask Yari, why do you study Japanese?
日本語を勉強どうしてしますか?
日本語 So you said 日本語の勉強をどうしてしますか?
For said 日本語を勉強どうしてしますか?
Yeah, it's actually grammatically okay, but the order of the words is just a little bit unnatural. It would be understood, but it would be a little bit like saying, Japanese, why do you study? So probably better in this case to pull doshite towards the beginning
Okay, so when do you? I have a question then, because I noticed that Patrick-san, Ichiban, Skina, Yasuwa, Dorideshka, it's at the end before the verb, so that's why I put it at the end before the verb. It's not a universal rule then.
Right, yes. So with ski, this finished with des, so it was describing a state. So you're able to pull that state to the beginning. But the question that you had was asking a verb, and it's quite normal to put the object of the verb just before the verb. So in that case, it kind of takes precedence next to the verb.
Okay.
And better to put the doshite at the beginning.
So I should say, doshite nihongo o benkyou shimasu ka?
It's good. Yes, exactly. Good. And Yeri?
Tanoshii desu ne.
Tanoshii desu ne. Okay. because it's enjoyable, isn't it? Yes, John, go ahead.
So is there a danger there that we could be saying, how do you study Japanese?
Yeah, although doshite falls slightly on the middle of the line,
right. Okay.
On the Y side rather than the how side. I think if you wanted to emphasize that you were asking how do you study Japanese, you might say doyatte, which is falls a little bit more on the how side rather than the Y side.
Hey.
I want a cat for our Japanese lesson as well. Where's my cat?
I can send you mine if you like.
Okay, sure. In a box, in a sealed plastic bag.
Might leave or not.
Okay, Amanda, can you ask Yadi? Oh no, sorry, Yadi, can you ask Constantina?
Yep.
Where are you now?
Konstantina-san, doko ni desu ka?
Not doko ni desu ka, but where do you exist now?
Doko ni imasu ka?
Yeah, good. Doko ni imasu ka?
今、私の家にです。います。
Yes. Yeah, good. Yeah, so just a reminder, if you're using doko desu ka, it normally means something which is immediately around you. So maybe behind you, or maybe Constantina's sitting on the shelf behind me. Doko desu ka, and then you would say koko desu. But if you're asking where somebody is who's away from you, or an object which is away from you, then you should really use imasu and arimasu. Yeah. Okay, Constantina, can you ask Sophie, where will you go tomorrow?
Sophie-san, tomorrow, where do you go? Asta wa? We can use asta.
Either ashta or ashtawa. It really, this is fine to use both, really.
Okay, I'm starting there. Sophie-san, asta doko ni ikimasu ka?
Perfect. Hey, Sophie-san, dozo. Doko ni ikimasu ka?
Sunyo ni ikimasu.
Doko? Doko desu ka?
Sunyo is a place. Okay, Sunyo ni ikimasu. Okay.
It's the temple of Poseidon.
In Greece? Sonia.
Yes.
Sonia. Tanashinde kudasai. Okay, Sophie, can you ask Aga, how do you spell your name?
Okay, Aga-san, onomae wa how? Do speru shimasu ka?
So probably better to make this doyatte to make it clear. Doyatte.
Okay, so Aga-san, onomae wa doyatte speru shimasu ka?
Yeah, sorry, Sophie, can you say that again, please? Without looking down there, just keep your eyes on the camera.
Okay, I'll try. Okay, Aga-san, onomae wa.
Okay, good.
We said doyatte speru. Spell o shimasu ka?
Perfect. That's much better. Good. Onomae wa doyatte spell o shimasu ka? Or you could have said, and it doesn't matter, onomae wa is fine. You could have said, doyatte onomae o spell shimasu ka? You can make the name the object of the verb. But this, what you did was fine. This is completely understandable. Okay, Aga, this should be an easy answer, really.
Aga.
Des.
Aga.
Even in katakana, it's quite really easy, really, isn't it? Okay, Aga, can you ask Elena? Can you hold up a book? I'm sure you've got some books around you. Without ripping your earphones out of your head?
What?
Without ripping your earphones out of your head? Oh, you're not using them. Okay. How much is this book? How much is this book?
この本はいくらですか?
Perfect. この本はいくらですか? Hi, Elena-san, いくらですか? You're the bookshop owner.
300円です。
How much, sorry?
300円です。
Oh, it's cheap. 300円です. Good. Okay. Elena, can you ask David about how much, or approximately how much, does beer cost in Japan? About how much does beer cost in Japan?
デビッドさん、こんにちは。どれぐらいビールはかかり、日本にかかりますか?
Okay, that was all the right words, but I just want to hear them again because they're in the right order. Yeah.
日本でビールはどれぐらいかかりますか?
Okay, so just did you say どれぐらい or どのぐらい? Elena?
どれぐらい.
So it should be どのぐらい. どのぐらい.
どのぐらいかかりますか?
Perfect. 日本でビールはどのぐらいかかりますか? Sorry, David, I know that you've already answered one. It's just that the pictures are moving around as people are dropping in and dropping out. Hi, David Sandozo. You can answer again.
$250円です。
Very accurate. Okay, good. 250円. Has everybody asked and answered a question now? Oh, Aga, you haven't answered one, have you? You haven't asked a question yet, have you?
Yeah, I didn't answer, so.
Oh, you haven't
Close
answered.
the
Louise.
circle, I don't know.
And Aga, you haven't asked a question yet, have you?
I asked the question.
David has now asked me, right?
Yeah, sorry, all the pictures have moved around a little bit. So so Aga, just for practice, can you ask Louise? How many socks are you wearing now?
I kutsu kutsushita o haite imasu ka?
Perfect. Ikutsu kutsushita o haite imasu ka?
着ません。
履いてません?
着ません。はい。
So for socks, the verb is not kiru, but haku. Haku.
はりません。
No, so this is a group one verb. Haku.
Haku. Yeah, what's the mas form?
Hakimasu.
Hakimasu. Hakimasen.
Like hakimono and hakama.
Hakama. Haki.
Yeah. So, sorry, what was the response, Louise?
Hakimasen. 靴下を履きません。
Zenzen? Never?
今。
So you have to use the present continuous verb, really.
今。So that would be 今、靴下を着て、
Have a think. Haku?
What's the te? So you want me to do te form? Happy.
Okay, think of an example which uses the same, like kaku, to write. How would you say I'm writing? Or listening?
Wait. So it's haite, 履いてません.
Good, yeah.
今、靴下履いてません.
Good.
靴下を履いてません.
Yeah, I mean, for this, actually, to get the answer pretty efficient, the right answer to that would be simply haitemasen. You wouldn't need to say kutsushita. You don't need to repeat it. You just say haitemasen. I'm not wearing. Yeah, good. Okay. Any questions about questions, guys, or any problems? Good. Oh, go on, David. Yep, sure.
You say how much is beer in Japan? How do you say per bottle?
So you'd say one bottle is 250 yen.
Ippon.
Yeah, ippon wa 250. Or you could say, if you want, there's another way to say it actually. To say each is kaku. And then you should use the counter, you should use the actual word for bottle rather than the counter for bottles. So bottle is bin. So you'd say kaku bin wa 250 yen desu.
Thank you.
But I think most people would say ippon wa 250 yen desu. Yeah. Okay, right, let's move on to conditional. Before I show you the slide, let me just explain that there are about 4 or 5, possibly more, ways of expressing the conditional, like if then in Japanese. And the one we're going to do today is not that frequently used by me, and Jock also said he doesn't really use it that much. And there's a reason for it. It's because there are regulations about how you can use it. So as non-native speakers, we tend not to use it because it restricts you slightly. But we have to learn it because you might hear it being said to you, and also it leads us on to making the obligative sentence, like you must do this. So the way to say you must do this is you would say, if you don't do this, then it would not be cool. If you don't do this, then it would be bad. So we have to learn it anyway to get onto another kind of grammar. Right, let me show you it. Okay, so the form we're going to learn today is the ba form, ba. Yeah, so as I've already said, this will lead us, give me a second. This will lead us on to doing words like sentences like one must do something, you must do something, or I must do something later on. It does create the kind of tone of the sentence is that it sounds a little bit hypothetical. It's like saying as if you were going to do this. So it's a bit weird to use it before a request or an expression of intent. Like, for example, if this happens, then please do this. Or if this happens, then I would like to do this. So generally, it would be better to avoid using this form for those types of sentences. There's a different type of conditional that we can use instead. There are exceptions that we can use expressions of interest, expressions of intent or requests, but it requires you to think about the sentence a little bit more deeply. I'll explain it later if we've got time. So the way that we form the conditional sentence is that we change the verb or the adjective or the noun on which the conditional is based. So, for example, if I wanted to say, if I go to Tokyo, then I will be able to see Skytree, for example, then I would change the verb to go. That would be the point at which I would change it to make it into the conditional. So with group 1 verbs, we start off by taking the infinitive, and we create the potential sound of the verb. So any sound which is u at the end, like iku, ao, hanasu, that u becomes an e. So iku becomes ike, hanasu becomes hanase. Like saying ikemas means I can go, hanasemas means I am able to speak. And then we put ba on at the end. So iku becomes ikeba, ikeba. Let me just turn it onto gallery view for a second so I can see some of you. So, for example, so Louise, how would you make the conditional out of ao, to meet ao?
Aeba.
Good, aeba. John, how would you make the conditional for to write?
Kareba.
So kaku is the
Yeah.
infinitive. Yeah.
Oh, so ka. So kaku. Ka. Is it kakeba?
Yeah, exactly. Kakeba. Good.
Kakeba.
Good. Yeah. Marcus, what about the conditional to speak? Hanasu.
Hanaseba.
Good. Yes. Hanaseba.
So this is going down one line in the hiragana chart, isn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Drop down one line to the potential form, and then just put ba at the end instead of mas. Yeah.
Okay.
Wukash, how about the conditional of to stand? That what I did hear.
Tateba.
Tateba. Good. Yeah. Tom, how about the conditional to call?
Yobeba.
Good. Yobeba. Patrick, how about the conditional to swim?
Oyogeba.
Good. Yeah. Or yogeba. Amanda, how about the conditional to read?
Yomeba.
Perfect. Yomeba. Yadi, how about the conditional to return home?
Kaereba.
Good. Yes. Kaereba. Excellent. No problems there. Good. Okay. So that's how we do group 1 verbs. Group 2 verbs are a little bit less complex, but just a slightly longer word. So we cut off the ru at the end of the group 2 verb completely, and we replace it with reba. Reba. So as you can see, I've got an example here. Taberu becomes tabereba. Tabereba. So Constantina, what would be the conditional to see? I know you did this the other day.
Mireba.
Yes, mireba. Good. Okay.
Mireba.
So group 2 are quite easy. And then group 3 verbs, these are the unconditional, sorry, these are the irregular ones, so we just have to memorize them. Suru, to do, becomes sureba, and kuru, to come, becomes kureba. Kodoriba, kureba. Okay. For E adjectives, if we want to say, if tomorrow is hot, then don't wear your shoes, or something like this, then we take the E off and we replace it with kereba, kereba. So atsui would become atsukureba, atsukureba. We're just going to have to remember this stuff, guys. But we'll do some practice as well. Can you all see the bottom line, nouns and adjectives? I know sometimes it disappears from the screen. Sorry, somebody's just messaged me. Let me just see if it's anybody trying to join the class. No. For nouns and adjectives, so we can think of adjectives as being treated the same way as nouns. Well, after a noun or after a adjective, we put des. But actually, des is a shortening of a more formal way of saying des, which is de aru. So when we say des, what we're actually saying is de arimasu, de arimasu. Don't think about it too much. But when we're writing letters, for example, or writing some kind of script, it's very rare to write des. You'd normally write de aru. So knowing that aru is in there, which is a group 1 verb, arimasu, that becomes de areba, de areba. Okay. Everybody finished note taking? If you want a few more minutes, if you want a minute more, just stick your finger up. Good. Okay, let's try some examples, shall we? So let's start with, this time we'll start with, actually we'll keep it in the same order because the screen might jump around a little bit. Okay, Louise, Oh, guys, if I ask you to do one that you've done before, please say I've done this one, and I'll give you a different one. Louise, how would you say, if you pay the bill, then I will meet you outside? If you pay the bill, then I'll meet you outside.
Pay the bill. Okay, so pay was
Harau.
harau. So haraeba, right?
Yep.
So is bill, do I just say biru, bill, bill?
You can say bilbo. Bilbo
Yeah.
is also the bill. You can say bill, check, kanjo,
Check
kaikei.
or, okay. Okay, so the conditional is paying the bill. So check or haraeba.
Good.
私は一緒に
No watashi was in this class. We
No,
take
no,
them outside
watashi
and
was.
beat them to death with sticks.
Outside de au
So outside is soto.
外に会う
Soto. Something is happening outside because we've got aimas at the end. There's a verb there.
外を会う
No. Soto is the location where something is happening.
外で
Soto de, yes.
Okay, so check or harau. So haraeba.
Good. Yeah.
check or haraeba. Soto de au.
Yeah. Let's finish with a mass though, so that we're clearly keeping it a certain level of politeness.
外で会います。
Aimas. Yes. Good. So check o haraeba soto de aimasu. Good. Okay. Okay, Louise, as you're finding that one a bit warming, let's give you another one. So instead of saying I will meet you outside, let's say let's meet outside. If you pay the bill, let's meet outside. Hey.
チェックを払えば外で会いませんか
That's won't you meet me outside? How do you say
会い
this?
ましょう。
Aimasho. Good. Aimasho. Good. Check
Is it okay also use machimasu? Kanojo haraibe soto de machimasu.
Yeah, but that's a different example. That's
Then it's
I wait outside.
Wait for you outside. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
but I want you to say,
meaning.
yeah, but I want you to say meet. That was the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Soto. Check o haraeba soto de aimasho. Okay. Good. John, how would you say if you listen to music, then you will be able to sleep? If you listen to music, then you will be able to sleep.
And music is
Ongaku.
Ongaku.
If you listen to Andy's Japanese Corner, you will certainly be able to sleep.
Okay. So, ongaku kikeba, you'll be able to sleep. The verb to sleep is
simple one is neru.
Neru. So ongaku kikeba. I've forgotten sleep already.
Neru.
Neru.
It's a group 2 verb.
Nerimas.
Not quite.
No. Group.
That was you're shoehorning it into a group 1 verb doing that. So do you remember how to do group 2 potential form?
So neri teimas.
No, that's
conditional.
That's the present continuous.
Yeah.
So for group 2 verbs, we chop off the ru and we put rareru.
Oh, rareru. Hi.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write down sleep this time.
Okay, good.
So what was it? No.
Neru.
Neru. and it'd be ne raremasu.
Good, yeah. Neraremasu. Good.
So,
okay, you do the whole sentence.
Okay. So, ongaku kikeba.
Sorry, I'd like to know what the particle is after music.
Ongaku o
Good.
Ongaku o kikeba neraremasu.
Excellent. Good. Ongaku o kikeba neraremasu. Excellent. Good. Marcus, how would you say, if you push this button, then the door will open? If you push this button, then the door will open.
Right. So it would be, just so I can think about it in English for a second, this is the button pushing and then the door opening. So it's if you push this button, kono button push is osu.
Osu, good.
Osu.
Yeah.
So osu will become oseba.
Excellent, good.
Kono button. Do you want a particle in there?
I would love a particle in there.
You would, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kono button. So it's obvious. So oseba. If you push this button, something happens. What was it again?
The door will open. The door will
open. Open. So this
akeru is akeru. Yeah.
I want to say door ga. That's not right, is it?
No, that's absolutely correct.
Okay.
Actually, door ga.
Door ga akemasu.
Excellent. Good. Can you say the whole sentence one more time, please?
No.
Give me 10 minutes.
So yeah, exactly. Let's go through the whole paper press again. Kono button o oseba doa ga akemasu.
Excellent. Kono button o oseba doa ga akemasu. Good. Hello, Marcus. Łukasz, if you wait here for 5 minutes, then a bus will arrive. If you wait here for 5 minutes, then a bus will arrive.
Koko ni gofun.
Sorry, it's gofun.
Gofun ni?
Just gofun is fine.
Gofun. Wait was
matsu.
Matte. Mateba.
Good.
Basu ga will what? Will
come, arrive.
Rimas?
That means the bus will go home.
Come was is the three, is the group 3, the stupid one. Ku.
Okay. So what's to go?
Iku.
Yeah. So in mass form.
Ikimasu.
So what's to come?
Kimasu.
Kimasu. Good. That's it.
Basu ga kimasu.
Yeah, good. So so you said koko ni gofun mateba, but in this phrase we're finishing with a verb, so it can't be koko ni, but
koko de.
Koko de.
Because it's around something happening around the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So koko de gofun
matsu.
Mateba. Basu ga kimasu.
Excellent. Basu ga kimasu. If you want to say, the bus will arrive, there's actually 2 words that we should really memorize because these are very useful as tourists in Japan, which is arrival and departure. So to arrive or arrivals in the airport is tochaku. Tochaku. Tochaku.
Chaku or jaku?
Chaku as in Jock Sensei.
Jack Sensei.
Jack. Tochaku. With the CH. Cha. Tochaku. So this is a noun.
This is arrive.
It is, yes. Yeah. This is a noun, so you say tochaku shimasu. And then departures, or to depart, is shuppatsu. Shuppatsu.
Shu is also long.
It's short, and it's a hard P. It's a double P.
Patsu.
Shuppatsu. Yeah.
Shimasu.
Yes, exactly. So, Wilkash, can you make the same sentence but say that the bus will arrive, please?
Bus ga tochaku shimasu.
Okay, and the rest of it?
Damn. ここで5分待てばバスが到着します。
Perfect. Perfect. ここで5分待てばバスが到着します。Good. Tom, if you can read kanji, then it is easy to travel in Japan. It is simple to travel in Japan. It is simple to travel in Japan. You can travel simply in Japan.
漢字を読めば、日本 what was travel in Japan?
Ryoko.
Ryokushu.
Yes.
日本語で、simple is 簡単。簡単。
Yes, it is, yeah.
簡単、よくします。
Okay, so that's most of the words now. Let's put the sentence together again, shall we?
What was the beginning? Kanji. Kanji.
If you can read kanji, then you can travel easily in Japan.
The second is also can. So kanji o kakeba.
Yomu. Read.
Kanji o yomeba. Nihon de kantan. And then yoko. It's the exception. So can do, eh? So I have the potential.
Yep, good.
For suru.
Yeah.
I have to. Ga dekimasu.
Dekimasu. Dekimasu. Actually, this question, Louise, dozo.
Yeah. Do we have to connect the I can read? So if you can read with the can thing we learned like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. These are two different potentials, so we don't have to join those bits together. But this sentence was actually a trap, because the conditional was if you can read Japanese. If you can read kanji, rather than if you do read kanji. So here we have to turn yomu into both the potential first and then the conditional. So let's just all think about this for a second. Yomu is the infinitive of the verb. Now, if we turn this into the potential form, which would be
yomeru.
Yomeru. Now, yomeru, excuse me. Yomeru. If you look at this verb, it's got ru at the end and it's got the letter e before the ru. So this looks exactly like a group 2 verb, and it is. You can treat it like a group 2 verb. So now yomeru as the potential is a group 2 verb. Now, if you turn this into the conditional, what would you then get, Tom?
Yomeraemasu.
No. So yomeru was the potential, but now I want the turn that into the conditional.
So yomereba.
Yomereba. Yes.
Yomereba.
Yomereba. So now, if you make that first part of the sentence again, if you can read kanji.
Kanji o yomereba.
Okay, but now kanji isn't the, remember for potential sentences.
It's ga.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We mark the objects with ga rather than o. So we would
kanji
say,
ga yomereba.
Perfect. And then
nihon de.
Good.
Kantan yoku.
Sorry, kantan. This is an adverb here. Kantan.
Ni.
Simply. Kantan ni. Good.
Kantan ni yoko ga dekimasu.
Perfect. Excellent. Kanji ga yomereba Nihon de kantan ni ryoko ga dekimasu. Wow, it's just a whole lot of particles, I know. But if you
I
just
got the
remember
short form
rules-
this time.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, koto ga dekimasu.
Oh, okay, yeah, ryoko, yeah, that would be. Well, actually, so in fact, you couldn't even say that, Tom, because ryoko is ryoko suru. There isn't ryoko suru koto ga dekimasu.
Because it's the abstraction with the suru.
Yeah, exactly, it just is ryoko dekimasu. Yeah. Good. Okay, guys, does that make some sort of sense, even if it's difficult to remember? Yeah. We are just kind of taking rules and just obeying them to do this.
Why Yomu changed to group 2, Yobereba?
Okay, so
Yob.
Yeah, let me explain. So this wasn't if you do read kanji, it was if you are able to read kanji. So we have to turn yomu into the potential form. So yomu becomes yomeru. Yomeru.
Mm-hmm.
Now yomeru, if you look at it as a verb, it's used and transformed exactly the same as a group 2 verb. It's got ru at the end. It's got the letter e before the ru. If you make it into the mass form, you simply chop off the ru and put mas at the end, yome mas. So this is exactly, the behavior is a group 2 verb. And that's the definition of a group 2 verb. It's the way that you treat the infinitive when you turn it into the mass form, when you turn it into the te form. That's what defines it as being a group 2 verb.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, right, Patrick, I hope you'll, go ahead, Amanda.
Sorry, I was trying to write down that and I missed the, did you say travel is ryoko?
Sorry, yes, it is. Ryoko.
Did it have a particle on it?
Ryoko ga. So this was again marking it as the object of a potential sentence. You are able to. Ryoko ga dekimasu.
So the sentence was kanji ga yomoreba nihon de kantan ni ryoko ga dekimasu.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly this.
Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I've written it down correctly.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect.
I have a question too. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. No problem.
The ryoko, because it's like benkyo and the others, we need to use the suru to use it together. Ryoko suru.
Correct.
To make the sentence.
Normally, yes. Yeah. Ryoko
Normal, but because here we didn't use it, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So suru shimasu would normally be at the end, but the question, the sentence we were changing into was, you are able to travel simply in Japan or easily in Japan.
So travel is not like a verb, but like
it's a noun.
Behaving like
it's a noun basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So in any sentence where you have suru or shimasu, if you want to turn this into the potential, then suru just simply becomes dekiru.
Dekiru. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Was it Nihon de kantan yoko ga dekiru or yoko ga kimasu?
No, ryoko ga dekimasu.
Dekimasu.
Dekimasu. Yeah. Tom, go ahead. Oh, sorry, you're muted, Tom.
Yeah, also kantan ni. I forgot the
kantan ni.
Yes, kantan ni.
Because it's a noun.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Lukash, did you have a question as well?
Answered already. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Patrick, here's praying for an easy one, huh? After that one. If you cut strongly, then your wrists will become painful. If you cut strongly, then your wrists will become painful.
So if you cut strongly, 強く切れば
Good.
And then wrist will become painful. 手首を手首が
yes.
手首が痛いで
Okay, so So we can use for e adjectives. There's two uses of the ku form. So we can use like atsuku or tsuyoku to make it an adverb. Or if we want to say that something will become more, like something will become hotter, then again we use this adverb form that's atsuku, but finish it with narimasu to mean to become.
Oh yeah, okay. So 手首が痛くなります。
Perfect. Good. Do you want to say the whole sentence again?
強く切れば手首が痛くなります。
Perfect. Tsuyoku kireba tekubi ga itaku narimasu. Excellent. Well done, Patrick. Amanda. If you eat a lot of sushi, then your tummy will become painful. You'll get tummy ache. Your tummy will become painful.
たくさん寿司を食べれば
Good. Tabereba.
お腹が痛くなります。
Onaka ga.
Itai ku.
Okay, so itai is the actual adjective itself. Itaku, yes. Chop off the e. Good, exactly. Takusan sushi o tabereba onaka ga itaku narimasu. Good, thanks, Amanda. Well done. Yadi, how would you say, if you look over there, then you will be able to see Mount Fuji?
あそこに見れば
Good.
富士山が見れられます。
Excellent. You remember it from Tuesday very well. Asoko ni mireba Fujisan ga miraremasu. Excellent. Okay, Constantina. If you come to my house, then you will be able to play table tennis. I don't know why you'd want to play table tennis, but you'll be able to.
Okay, I never did, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. If you come to my house, watashi no ie ni kureba
Perfect.
Tennis o shimashou. No, shimashou. Tennis ga dekimasu.
Perfect. Good. Well done.
I was
Okay.
like, let's
Hi.
play, but I remember the difference. Okay.
Yeah, good, good. So, moichiro, zentai no
Okay.
bunsho.
Okay. Watashi no ie ni kireba.
This time you said it wrong, but last time you said it correctly.
Hai kala. Next. Watashi no ie ni kureba. Why I'm saying ki? Kureba tennis ga dekimasu.
Okay, good. So, do you say when you want to say AAA? Do you say parakolo in Greek?
Oh, so no, I said, oh my God.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said parakolo.
No, I said, oh
Please.
my God.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, good. Watashi no ie ni kureba table tennis or tennis ga dekimasu. Excellent. Good. Sophie. Okay, this is a little bit like the one that Tom had to do. If you study Japanese, then you can converse with Japanese people very simply, very easily. If you study Japanese, then you can speak with Japanese people very simply.
Okay, well, step by step.
Yeah, exactly.
日本語を勉強すれば
Perfect.
Okay. 日本人
Good.
So, 日本人 easy 簡単に話せます。
Oh, good, good. So just Nihonjin, how would you say with Japanese people?
日本人と
To, exactly.
日本人と Okay.
Excellent. Hai, moichiro, zentai no bunsho. I feel like Donald Trump when I do this.
Once, once again, okay. 日本語を勉強すれば、日本人と簡単に話せます。
Perfect. Excellent. Well done. Good. 日本語を勉強すれば、日本人と簡単に話せます。Excellent.
Okay.
Guys, we've used this 簡単に to say simply, but so this kind of helps to express that it's easy to do something. There's a few other different ways we can say easily. One way is another kind of an adjective. So we make the adverb with using ni, which is raku, raku, R-A-K-U, raku. Raku just means easy and comfortable. Raku ni. It's really difficult to find a Japanese word for the word comfortable, actually. It's when I've sort of said this chair is comfortable, and you say to somebody, how do you say that in Japanese? And they would say something like kimochi desu, which means it feels nice. It's like, well, no, I don't mean it feels nice, I just mean comfortable. And actually raku is the closest thing to comfortable. Louise, dozo?
I have something. Igokuchi no sai?
Huh?
For like comfortable.
One more time.
Igokuchi no sai.
Yeah.
Yoi. Igokuchi no yoi.
Yeah, so that's saying that the feeling is good, I think.
Yeah.
Which again, it kind of expresses comfortable, but not in a nice, simple, one-word adjective. Igokuchi ga yoi. Yeah.
Igokuchi no yoi.
It's almost like it's like the same as kimochi. It feels good, but it's not that it kind of. It's not exactly the same as feeling good. It's just like you can sit in it and you don't even realize you're sitting on something, rather than it giving you massages while you're sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got this as a translation from my friend for gemütlich, and gemütlich is like comfortable. So.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh wow.
Igokuchi no yoi.
Igokuchi no yoi.
Yeah, I've never heard it, which is why it sort of makes me think, oh, okay. But yeah, raku is, I think, probably well, it means easy anyway, and we can use it in this sense to sort of mean comfortable or easy to do. Yeah.
Raku is also it's a form of pottery, Japanese pottery.
Is it? I wonder if it's the same. I wonder if it's the same kanji, because they both mean raku just means kind of means fun as well. It's the same kanji as tamashi, raku. That doesn't appear in my dictionary, actually. It must be quite a rare word.
Mine has the same kanji.
For pottery?
For raku, and then which is under comfort, then raku pottery is the same kanji.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interesting. And then raku ware as well, the same thing, but with kuyaki on the end. No, right. Yaki on the end.
Oh, so I can see it now. Yeah, raku pottery. Yeah.
Well, raku pottery is rough, and you build a kiln in the garden, and then you make a pot, a sort of rough pot, and you put it in, you either oxidize it or you use it for a different.
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying is it's called rakuyaki, which means easy baking.
Takoyaki?
Takoyaki. Rakuyaki. So I guess that's why it means. That's why it's used. It means simple baking, simple baking. Yeah.
Pottery that you just there
you go.
Rustic.
I have a book, Raku Nihon Ryori.
One more time, Yari?
I have a book called Raku Nihon Ryori.
Simple Japanese food. Yeah. Oh, good. See, I'm not just making this stuff up. Maybe I am. Okay. Right, let's go on to Lena. Lena, how would you say? If tomorrow is hot, then you will not need a coat. if tomorrow is hot, then you will not need a coat.
暑ければコートを sorry, how would you say need?
So
必要
yeah,
something 必要な something
yeah.
it has to some
Yeah, so you can say if you use hitsuyo, this means necessity. You can turn this into the negative. Treat hitsuyo like a noun. So you'd say hitsuyo.
必要くない
Hitsuyo.
Is it 必要な 必要
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Hitsuyo ga arimasen. There is no necessity. Hitsuyo ga nai, which is informal, or hitsuyo ga arimasen. So sorry, Elena. How did you say if tomorrow is hot? You broke off a little bit.
明日暑ければ
Perfect. Yes. Ashita ga atsukureba. Koto ga
ことが必要
arimasen.
ない必要ありません
Or hitsuyo nai. Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
必要
Yeah. So guys, let's just this second part of the sentence. Actually, this is worth remembering because to say that you don't need something, there's a couple of ways of saying it, but this using hitsuyo should be said like this: koto ga hitsuyo arimasen. Koto ga hitsuyo arimasen. Or you could say koto ga hitsuyo dewa arimasen. It is not necessary. Both of these are fine. Good. Thanks, Elena. Well done. Aga, actually, sorry, before we carry on, can you just give me 2 minutes to pop to the toilet?
So a late happy birthday, Marcus.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yes,
Happy
a little
birthday.
older and clearly no wiser. Oh well, can't be helped. Thank you. And yeah, celebrating birthday in lockdown, in extreme lockdown in Melbourne. So
Still extreme.
Extreme lockdown.
yeah, Melbourne's gone worse. So we're now basically 5K radius from the house and 1 hour a day exercise and blah blah blah. It's all very,
Oh my God.
You've gone from
No.
a state of pandemic to a state of disaster, isn't it?
yes, a state of disaster, whatever that means. I don't know. He
I think
defined
it's just
it.
a
but
new
yes.
level they put up just like a month ago to say, okay, everybody stay where you are.
Pretty much, yeah. That's we're the worst place in Australia at the moment. So, alas, but it's all okay.
5K from home. 5K
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah, they
Sorry.
realised
It's a radius.
5 kilometers.
Yeah, 5 kilometers from the house is as far as you can go. You have to have a permit to go to work if you need to go to work outside. And so Rebecca, who's a scientist, she goes to the university. She can go. I work from home, so that's okay. And you're allowed to go to one of you is allowed to go to the supermarket once a day, and you're allowed to go out for exercise for 1 hour once a day.
I hope you guys weren't talking while I was away. You know that.
Only a bit.
Only in Japanese.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry, Aga. How would you say, if you get thirsty, then you can get some water from over here. If you get thirsty, then you can get some water from over here.
喉が怖ければね。
Sorry, so I made a mistake the other day. It's not kowaku, but kawaku. Kawaku. Yeah.
喉が渇けば
Perfect.
What was the
Then you can get some water from over there.
あそこで水があります。
This is good. There is water over there. How would you say you can receive some water from over there, though?
No idea how is it receive the water.
One more time?
How receive water?
Yes, you can receive water. You can receive water.
I don't know.
So, so do you remember the verb to receive when you receive something? Moral, moral.
Mizuga.
You can receive.
You can.
So mizuga is correct. Absolutely, mizuga.
Morarero.
So it's a group one verb. So it's mora, and then there's an u at the end. Mora u, morau.
I'm afraid that I don't remember how to.
Okay, no problem. So to make the potential form of group one verbs, we treat the u sound at the end as an e. We turn it into e, and then we put mas at the end. So morao would become
Moraemas.
perfect. Moraemas. Exactly. Good. Hai, mo ichido onegai shimasu.
Nodo ga kawakeba, asoko de mizu ga moraemasu.
Excellent. Perfect. Nodo ga kawakeba, asoko de, or asoko kara, from over there, or there. Mizu ga moraemasu. Guys, so this is a really useful phrase now, because there isn't really a single adjective for to be thirsty or to be hungry. There is actually, but there's not a polite way of saying it. We would say throat has become dry, or tummy has become empty, like my tummy always is when I'm in Poland, for example. So to say thirsty, you would say nodo ga kawaku. Nodo ga kawaku. Throat becomes dry. If you actually want to say I am thirsty, then you would say my throat has become dry. My throat has dried, or my throat is drying. So either in the present continuous verb or in the past tense. So you say nodo ga kawaitemasu, or nodo ga kawakimashita. Nodo ga kawaite imasu, or nodo ga kawakimashita. If you think, it's easy to remember to dry. It's like when you get thirsty, you start to talk like a duck, and you make a quack noise, quack noise. You see, like a duck, quack, kawaku, quack. See, it's worth coming to these lessons, isn't it, Łukasz?
Absolutely. I thought quack is actually a Belgian beer.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that's another way of remembering it.
It is a special glass you drink. This kind of
there you go. See,
scientifically shapey roundy thingy jobber.
Right. Then that's
maybe a glass of an hourglass.
There you go. That's an even easier way to remember it. Constantina, do you have a question? No? Okay. So, and then if you want to say I'm hungry, then you would say my tummy is empty. So tummy is onaka. And then go on, Louise, you can say it.
Onaka tsuita.
Yes. So we would use the verb suku, which means to empty, suku. So you'd say onaka ga either in the present continuous tense, so it's say onaka ga tsuite imasu, or onaka ga tsukimashita, tsukimashita. Okay, let's move on. David, should we finish with a nice complex one, David? If land is expensive in Hong Kong, then I will rent an apartment. If land is expensive in Hong Kong, then I will rent an apartment. Okay. If there's any words you don't know, just let me know. We can add to the sentence.
I'm trying to remember.
So land is tochi.
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 And rent is karimasu.
Yeah, good. Karimasu.
Yeah.
Kariru. So it means to borrow. Yeah. Kariru is fine.
Land in Hong Kong. Hong Kong で土地が高ければ
Perfect. Good.
アパートを借ります。
Perfect. Hong Kong で土地が高ければアパートを借ります。Good. Well done. Well, guys, we got through them all. Excellent stuff. We've got another 12 minutes or so. So, the best thing to do, rather than talking about the regulations of this form, let's talk about, we'll have a little bit of a preview of next week's lesson, which is saying the...
Hey, Anderson,
yes,
I have a question
sure.
For these. Can I say, あなたは好きであればが綺麗です。
If you're empty,
people like you because you are pretty.
Ah, that's
I try to say.
Sorry. if you're empty, people will like you. So, sorry, can you say that again, Yari?
あなたは好きであればが綺麗です。
If you're pretty, people will like you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you've got the conditional and the result the wrong way around, though. So if you're pretty, はい、どうぞ。
Okay. 綺麗 how it changed to ba form.
So kirei is you can treat it as a noun, so it would also be with de aru at the end.
Kirei, I can't. How it happens? Kirei ga.
No. You can just say kirei de are. So it's kirei des. Kirei des is your.
Kirei de areba.
Yeah, kirei de areba. And then
anata ga suki.
Oh, you'll be liked by everybody.
Without anata.
Yeah. So
suki ni suki ni imasu.
Okay, so yeah, this is a little bit difficult actually. So a really simple way of saying this, but not actually grammatically consistent, would be to say you will become likable, which is ski ni narimasu.
Ski ni arimasu. Okay.
Ski ni narimasu. However, Yari, I take it this is a Finnish proverb, is it? A Finnish saying?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So you could say ski ni narimasu, you will become likable. But actually, what you should do is turn likable into a verb and make it passive. So like is actually a verb. Suki can actually be made into a verb, which is suku. It's not used that often, but it certainly is a verb, suku. And then to turn it into the passive form, to say you are liked, then you would go sukaremasu. Sukaremasu. Yeah. We'll do passives in probably in about 2 months, because they're not that important and there's more important things to learn. But
so it's so easy. Kirei de areba sukaremasu.
Yeah, exactly. Kirei de areba sukaremasu. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Are you going to write this and put it on the wall?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Okay. Kirei de areba sukaremasu. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys, before we do this little extra session? No. Yosh, ja. Okay, so if you want to say you must do something, the way we form this sentence is we say, if you don't do this, or if I don't do this, or if this isn't this, then it's not good. It's not good. So let's take an example. We'll use an example sentence. Let's use ikimasu to make it a nice, easy one. Ikimasu. So if you don't go to school, then it won't say you must go to school. You must go to school. So the way we'd construct this sentence and to be able to be translated into Japanese, we would say, if you don't go to school, it will be bad. Now, it will be bad. It's really easy to say, actually, in Japanese. What they say is, narimasen. It doesn't become, it's not becoming. Narimasen. Narimasen. So the second part of the sentence is really easy. Simply, narimasen. The difficult bit is saying that first part, if you don't go. So we can use the same rules as we did before for the conditional. So to say if you go, you would say ikeba. Ikeba. That means if you do go. If you do go. But if you say don't go, I'll get you guys to build this up. So let's start. Let's use Amanda first. Amanda, can you unmute yourself a second? So generally, if we're now making slightly more complex uses of verbs, we're going to use the infinitive. We use the plain form of the verb, and we play the what's it called? The concertina.
Accordion.
Accordion. Thank you. Yeah. But don't go in the plain form. What would that be, Amanda?
Ikenai.
Yeah. So not ikenai. That means cannot go. But not don't go would be.
I don't know. Ikemasen.
That's a polite form though. So it would be, let me tell you, it would be ikanai. Ikanai. So we move up to the, on the hiragana chart, we move up one level to the a level. So iku becomes ika, and then we finish with nai. Ikanai. Ikanai. Okay. Now, if you look at this word, ikanai, let me now ask somebody else. Łukasz.
It's e adjective then.
Yeah, exactly. It's an e adjective. It looks exactly like an e adjective, and in fact, you can treat it like an e adjective. So now we can just use the conditional of ikanai.
Of e adjectives.
Yeah. And then so let me ask Sophie. If you can unmute yourself a second, Sophie. So ikanai treat as an e adjective and then make it into conditional.
Okay, ikanakereba.
One more time.
Okay, ikanakereba.
Ikanakereba. So the e disappears. Yeah. The little e disappears and becomes ikanakereba. Ikanakereba. Let's make sure all of the vowels are correct though. Ikanakereba. Ikanakereba. Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Ikanakereba.
You can't say ikanakunai.
No. No, because we're making the conditional. Ikanakereba.
Okay, of course.
Ikanakereba. And now we finish it with, it's not cool. It doesn't go. Ikanakereba narimasen. Ikanakereba narimasen. That is saying, I have to go, or you have to go. If you want to say you have to go to school, then you would say Gakko ni ikanakereba narimasen. I know it feels a little bit long. It's much shorter just to say in English, you must go to school. But it's fairly consistent now that it's the conditional negative and then the result. Ikanakereba narimasen.
So we are using the, if we say don't do something, don't go, don't drink, don't, we're using the plain negative of don't do this, and we becomes instantly e adjective and we add kereba.
Exactly.
Okay.
This. Yeah. This is a really kind of meticulous anatomical deconstruction of the process. I just want you to learn exactly how to make it correct every single time. Pretty soon you'll just be able to say it without thinking about it as being an e adjective and then changing it, etc. Just say ikanakereba narimasen. Okay. In fact, I'm going to prove now how easy it is to convert, to make these by using John. John, if you unmute yourself.
So my skeptical look that gave me this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm confident in you, John. I'm confident. How would you say you must eat?
You must eat. So tabe, is it tabe nakereba? almost.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's actually the nai bit that confuses me a little bit. So is
You did it correctly though. You
it's
don't
a
worry.
tabe nai and then it's tabe nakereba.
Yeah, exactly. So if you say the whole sentence, you must eat, it would be
You must eat. So
you got the hard bit done. You just said it.
yeah. So you must eat is tabe nai.
No. Don't worry. Don't deconstruct it.
Yeah.
You just had the solution.
So
what's the if you don't eat?
I'm getting confused in my own head now. So it's tabe nakereba.
That's it.
If you don't.
Right. That's it. Hold that. And then it's not cool.
Narimasen.
Okay. So now the whole sentence.
So tabe nakereba narimasen.
Perfect. That's it. Tabe nakereba narimasen. Let's see. Constantina. Yeah. Okay. You can, I'll ask a question, then I'll give you a question.
Okay, so to clear up in my mind, they don't have that don't do this. It's like if you don't eat, it's not that, because I just got confused. We're still using the negative. I'm not making no sense.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to, there's a little bit of a difference between those sentences. So don't do this and you must do this, of course, are very different, aren't they? So
yeah.
if you say don't do this, you would say something nai de kudasai. Please don't do this. So tabe nai de kudasai. Tabe nai de kudasai. So we're using the te form there as de. Makes it imperative. We're saying don't do, and then, do, and then the negative of the verb. Tabenai. Yeah, tabenai do kudasai. But here we're starting by we're saying if you don't do. If you don't do this, then I'll punch you in the face, which is the same as saying you must do this.
So they don't have a technical word for you must do this. They don't use
there is actually, but it's I don't want to teach it to you yet because it's not very common. It's very direct. It's quite impolite. You'd say tabiru beshides, which means it's imperative to eat. Tabiru beshides. But if you say this to somebody, it's really strong and direct. What you should say is, it's not cool if you don't do this. Narimasen. Exactly, yeah. So while you're here, Constantina, how would you say you must watch?
Okay. Watch miru.
Yep.
Miranai.
No, you're going into potential form now. Just make the negative. Minai.
Sorry. Yeah. Minai. Minakereba narimasen.
Perfect. Minakereba narimasen. Excellent. Louise, how would you say you must study Japanese?
勉強しなければなりません。
Perfect. 日本語の勉強をしなければなりません。Excellent. Marcus, how would you say we must meet tomorrow?
Ashita, so this is au, I must, au.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck on that. So I'm converting au to.
Remember how to make the u, the ones that finish with u, into the negative. Is that up? Is that awanai? It is awanai.
Okay, it goes up to the top, doesn't it? Awanai.
Yeah.
So awanai becomes awanakereba, possibly.
It is, and then it won't be good.
Narimasu. Narimasen. So sorry, what was the sentence again? Ashta awa nakereba narimasen.
Perfect. Ashita o nakareba narimasen. Good. Ina, how would you say, I must go home? I must go home.
Kaereba narimasen.
No, so kairanai would be the negative of to not go.
Kaera nakereba narimasen.
Perfect. Kaira nakereba narimasen. Aga, how would you say, I must make, I must make a model, say. I must make a model.
モデルを作らなければなりません。
Perfect. Model o skura nakereba narimasen. And Louise, dozo.
When I was in Japan, I had to always be back at 11 at my dormitory, so I had to. I just learned by heart the sentence like ju ichi ji made kaeranai to ikenai.
So this is again a really strong way of saying. So to kairanai to is another kind of conditional, but this now means it's a certainty that if you don't do this, there will be problems.
Yes, there would be problems.
Yeah. It's a really, really strong way of saying it. Kairanai to. So if you were to say, for example, in fact, let me give you an example of this. If there was an automatic lock on the door that closed the door and locked you out at 11 o'clock, then it's certain that if you don't get home before 11 o'clock, you can't get in. So this would be kairanai to hairimasen. If you don't, if you're not, but 11時まで kairanai to hairimasen. This means literally not that you must, but if you don't, you can't get in. It's just a logical
doesn't
problem.
work then. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So them saying that really, as in the rules are, if you're not home by 11 o'clock, you're screwed. Then this is a really strong way of saying it. It's like saying, no, if you're not home by 11 o'clock, we're not going to let you in. It's this kind of strong.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's not a casual way of saying. It's more like hard.
It is. Yeah, it's very direct. It's very direct. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's the way I hear it all the time at home.
So I guess,
but it's my wife talking to my daughter, so I think that might be.
Yeah, between family members, it's the necessity to be polite isn't so great, is it? You can just kind of say, if you don't do this, I'm gonna put you into the food blender. I hope this isn't being recorded. Yeah, so using it in that context is fine. Sophia, dozo.
Yes, sorry, I have to leave. Something unexpected happened, and
sure. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay. Bye.
See you later.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Let's do the last example. Lukash, how would you say? No, not Lukash, because you've done one already. David, how would you say? You must come to my house.
This is a group 3 verb, isn't it?
It is, yes.
私の家に
So yeah, I know it's kuru, but this is an irregular verb. So how would you make the negative of kuru? Do you remember?
Isn't it? It's konai, isn't it?
It is konai. Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
私の家に来なければなりません.
Perfect. 私の家に来なければなりません. Excellent. Good. There are other things that you can put in instead of narimasen. There's things like you can say. So narimasen means it's not becoming. If you want to say it won't go. It's not cool. It's ikenai, like saying I cannot go. Ikenai. It won't go. It's not good. Ikenai. So yasai o tabe nakareba ikemasen. So this is basically only a conditional sentence. If you want to say if you don't eat your vegetables, then you won't grow up to be an adult, then you can use almost the same form, really. Yasai o tabe nakereba otona ni narimasen. Otona means adult. Otona ni narimasen. You won't become an adult. Using must is simply using a negative conditional form. Okay, that is the end of the lesson. Any questions or problems, guys? If you'd like to unmute yourselves, release your voices to the world. Mute or kira nakareba narimasen, Luis-san.
はい。
問題か質問がありませんか？
質問がありません。
ありません。皆さん、そうですか？ないですか？ OK。
そうです。
はい、じゃあ、質問と問題がなければ終わりましょう。
はい。
またねー。
どうもありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
またねー。
Bye.
気をつけて。